Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm looking at a picture of another unique Richat structure anomaly. When I say that, I mean a perfect circle inside the middle of a bunch of chaotic golden figured riverbeds, and we're talking about ancient riverbeds. When you look at the Richat structure up close, you see thousands and thousands of years of different rivers running through it, or waterways. And it's so complex, it's so old and ancient. Not just the concentric circles, but the mountains up above them, beyond the cliffs. And there's one thing I mentioned. Of course, I'm now a believer that the Richat structure got hit by a comet. And there's this, it's not a circle, but we know that there's no perfect circles in nature. And you're looking at this and you're wondering, what the heck is it? Everybody's seen it. It's actually 4 kilometers across. Look, why did it get nuked? What happened? Here's another picture of that same thing, and you can see the coordinates down below. Everybody refers to this as like the second. It would, depending on where their mindset is, perhaps they're thinking it's dome geography, or perhaps they think it's a strike. You know, actually, this thing here, the middle is a little bit lower than the outer edges, so. You know, that means that the true depth of this pit is here. And the outside of it being a perfect circle is here. What else could it be but a strike of some kind? You know, Michelle, here's the other one up there. That's about 200 kilometers north of the Richat. That's a true hit. You know, I always forget the names. Fill in blank here later. Okay, look, that's a boring one because it's so real. And there's actually some depths to it. 827 feet in the middle. But outside it's 867 feet. So it's actually definitely lower than the outside. And I think that's a really good point when it comes to the Richat structure. Is the middle of that's 1260. And then outside of 1256 here, I got a couple of places. Oops, what's that? That's just some encouragement that YouTube tried to give me. Well, I'm done with the pictures. Okay, so there's no more pictures. Sorry about that. But the point is that these all have. Okay, now this one doesn't have the depth of the middle, but the middle is lower than this red. Look at it's right here. So you've got white, which is almost 2,000 feet. Anything white's almost 2,000 feet, and then anything red is a little less. But still more than 1,950. It's only 50 feet difference. But when you get to the yellows are lower. So you've got a buildup, but then you've got yellow out here and yellow here. So that buildup had to come from somewhere. I say it's flooded, it's filled in. You know, a lot of nasty shit is going down in the news regarding Hong Kong and the future of Taiwan. And, you know, a sane person might run, but I'm sticking with it for now. I mean, I'm not planning on dying in Taiwan, but I can tell you, with the knowledge that cataclysmic events happen all the time, there's no way I'm going to work the work ethic they've got going on here. It's just not going to work that way for me. No way. What's the easiest, laziest country in the world? That's where I'm going to go. But when it comes to these strikes, these comet strikes, these electric universe Carrington events, these huge plasma connections with whatever's releasing the energy. You know, I saw Mars get hit by a comet Ison and have different weird energy release. We saw it happen to Pluto just a few months ago, about a month ago. So when you've got these so-called dome geology features in the Earth, when you can see, and thanks, Michelle, that you've got car lightning strikes that show similar, that looks just exactly like the Richat structure. So this is my big connection to the electric universe, Thor throwing down lightning bolts. But, when I do my research, I find out, what was it that the bad people were doing in Atlantis when the gods decided to take them out? And it was common knowledge they were going to get taken out. It was slavery, man. They were deciding to use slaves. And I was just going through some of my old videos, and I thought, how do they make these structures? Okay, the pyramids, Graham Hancock, I believe, thinks that were built by people who were not slaves, who were passionate about their work. But what I look at when I see the West Sahara Desert is slavery that exists not just then, not just 14,000 years ago, but now, today. Like, yeah, sure, we've got our labor slaves in China and we've got our labor slaves in India, but they also are kind of in this big system where they can kind of run away if they want. Whereas, the other side of the dark story is sex slavery and what I've seen here in the desert of people building walls trying to save the water in the last days. All I can say is that with the amount of existing slavery that exists today, we really might want to rethink our future, because if this is what they gave out the last time people decided to enslave people, and I know we had slavery within our freaking country's lifetime, not mine, not 100 years ago, more like 1800 and maybe 150 years ago, we had real slavery in the United States. I'm not going to get into those details, but I am willing to talk about that. I'm not going to be one of those persons that says because slavery. I'll talk about it more. But at the same time, I'm not going to rule out the fact that we are becoming enslaved again from our actions on this earth. And if we've got punishment awaiting us for enslaving others, well, we're almost there again, because I think there's more slaves on this planet than ever have existed ever. But then again, we're basing that on the numbers from history, not numbers from prehistory. Thank you very much.